Here we are, guys. We're at the end of YCS Utrecht, the 200th YCS European edition. What is your name and what did you do this weekend?
My name is Zeki Shah and I got top 64 with Pendulum Magician.
Yeah, you did. Let's go straight into the deck.
First we go to the main deck. So for extenders we play 3 Cerberus, which is fairly standard, 3 Count and Razors, 3 Chronograph Sorcerers, and the package, Dark One package, which is fairly standard, and obviously to go with the packages, the Supreme King package, the Jackal for the Cerebuses, and the 1 Time Star. So that's what the extenders, just to make Electromite before, even though it's at 1, it's still make it before, and it's still, you gain massive advantage, and nobody's playing ogres and stuff, so it's just still super free.
As this was the first event with only playing 1 Electromite, how much did you miss it, having more than 1?
Very few times, only when I got hand trapped and nobody's playing like ogres etc, so it didn't really ever come up. It was usually OTKs by then.
So was that part of the reason you decided to play this deck?
Yeah, it has a good Sky Striker matchup most like 90% of the time.
And the distinct lack of hand traps across the rest of the decks.
That's right, yeah. Okay, then to the Magician lineup. This is slightly more odd, but I went for more of a bigger Magician lineup than usual, just because they gain advantage and they break boards and OTK. So 2 Black Fangs, 2 Poisons, which is fine. Janky for the Harmonized Magician Vortex play, 3 Wisdom Eye, 3 Harmonized Magicians, 3 Oath Dragons. This is slightly unusual, but it's really useful against Sky Strikers when they have 1 negate. They wait for the battle phase to Widow Anchor you, so they can basically stop your Widow Anchor, your biggest card, so stops your battle phase, and with just 2 level 6 you make Naruto, and then stop, just negate the Widow Anchor and go for game. So this was really good over this weekend, and it obviously the scale effect is amazing and gains massive advantage. And for the spells, 2 Pendulum Calls. I kind of wanted to play 3 of these, just because how prominent Sky Strikers were and how much Twin Twisters, Heavy Storm Dusters, etc. were being played. But instead of playing 3 of them, I did play 1 Duelist Lance. This was main reason because it allows me to search Pendulum Call, and there's a pseudo Denko Sekka, which is Star Pendulum Graph. So what this does is spellcasters can't be targeted by spell effects. So if you have this on board and they don't have a way to remove it, you just play with just spellcasters and OTK. They won't be able to Widow Anchor any of your cards, etc. So Duelist Alliance in the sense was a Pendulum Call when I need it, or a Star Pendulum Graph when I need it. So it was a bit of versatility, and then and this it just allowed me to push through Widow Anchors, etc. And obviously the 3 Potter's Eyes, which is +1. There's nothing wrong with it. There's nothing you really care about banishing in this deck. You can play with anything, and like drawing Pendulum Scales or more Pendulum Monsters is always good. That wraps up for the main deck.
Is there anything you'd change in the main deck? On reflection?
I might want to add another Pendulum Call and maybe another Duelist Alliance, because Pendulum Call was the MVP of the weekend. Pendulum Call and Supreme King it's just game. You just can't lose that game if you draw that hand.
Good stuff. Extra deck?
Extra deck. The 1 for Electromite. The second one didn't really come up. Only once did it come up when I got Ogred and I had a Chronograph in hand, and if I had another Electromite, the game would have been a lot easier. So that's Electromite. For the other Link 2s and replacement for the Electromite is the 1 Wee Witch Apprentice, which this, especially with the Star Pendulum Graph, it doesn't allow spellcasters to be targeted, so you can just summon this as your first monster and then summon loads, or you have a bunch of big beat sticks and you just go for game. And we do have another Link 2, which is Lan Walker card, vanilla Link 2, which was really good. It was you're allowed to play through Widow Anchor because they can't steal your extra deck cards, etc. But for the rest of the links, the obvious Metaltron, obviously with Vortex making this, and surprisingly the MVP of the weekend was probably Borrowed, Broadsword, my bad. Broadsword, it was when you make Electromite and make the Vortex, if you use one more monster, you make this, you have Vortex, this, and that's already game, but Vortex can bounce a Sky Striker card to hand, and then when they use Ray Effect, you negate it, and like and then yeah, that's just game there. Like you do 3k twice, and then 2500, that's 85, and then it's just game over. And then just even if you don't bounce it, even if you can't bounce it, just this allows you to push through like Suzuku's and Rays really easily. Just by it becomes a 3750 when attacking over any Sky Striker, and then attacking directly again for 3750. It's just it's game over. Well, the synchros, Clearwing and Omega. I did cut Ignista from the extra deck. Ignista never really come up. There's nothing really that needs to be untargetable or can't be targeted. This, scapegoats and stuff like that. And this is mostly when you pick apart a Sky Striker board and with Shizuka they search engage, and then you can snipe the one engage they have in hand there. And and then after that they're just top decking and you're having a Mega come back every turn. It allows you to just kill them next turn. For the XYZs, as Tornado Dragons, this surprisingly didn't cup anymore because it was completely, every time I could make this I ended up making X tonight, which was the MVP of the weekend. It was so strong. It was like when you pendulum call your scales and you can make this and you nuke their whole board and your scales stay alive because obviously pendulum call prevents them destroyed. And then I did this against the True Joker player, I did this against Sky Strikers. This with Red Reboot, which is in my side deck, it's even if you can't kill them, you just wipe the whole board, which Excellent Knight was definitely like really strong, and it should be it's amazing that came back. For the other rank 4s, Time Star, it didn't come up that many this weekend, but it's like another pseudo Electromite just to gain resources, prevent scales from being destroyed, and like whenever you need like poisons and etc to go for game, it's there. Supreme King, attack over big monsters, do huge damage, which is insane. It just allows you just to push through any boards again, just hits for massive damage. For the last rank 4 is Carno Gorgon. Carno Gorgon was really good. It's what you end with if you end this with 1-2 negates, Sky Strikers can't out it. You just negate the multi-roll, and then every afterburner and any Widow Anchors, you just redirect to the Link monsters and they can't really do anything. And like these are the negates, so Naruto with Carno Gorgon is game, or Jackal with Carno Gorgon is just really difficult board to out, and they invest so many resources to out the board, and then you still have a bunch of pendulums, a big pendulum summon for next turn, and obviously the Odd Eyes package, which allows you just obviously negates, and the bounce effect comes up all the time, just bounce and then negate at the same time. It's just allows you to completely stop the
Same question again for the extra deck. Any changes?
No change in the extra deck, I don't think. I think everything, there's no cards I needed or etc.
Good stuff. And then finally the side deck.
The side deck, this is the main reason I think Pendulums are a great deck, is the side deck cards they get to play are just every card's broken, every card's amazing. Like, so obviously, free Denko Saka, the MVP won the feature match. It was just amazing. Like, when you drop it, no one expects it. They don't play around it, and like you play against Sky Striker, Outer Guy, any of these matchups, it's an auto, it's a win button. It's just game. And the other like amazing card against Sky Strikers are 3 mid breakers. This was good a lot of scenarios. However, I do believe that Kaijus are better than this. Initially I thought this was the best because every hand trap that affects Electromite or affects you making a board, this stops. But the main issue I realised too late into the event was Sky Striker players are playing like a lot of Twin Twisters, etc., and them being able to turn this off is not good. Like, if they can turn this off and then start widow anchoring your board and start breaking apart your board, that's just really bad. And the fact that it's main phase 2, because they can just really easily like deal with this like in their turn. It's not like any prevention in their turn, so it's not that good. But going first, because a lot of people, after they realise what deck I was playing, start to make me go first, and these were really good because these are like going first or going second cards. Like, they're all siding hand traps if they make you go first, and these prevent all the relevant hand traps you actually care about. So yeah, these were the side deck for Sky Strikers, which were all of them. It was good, but I think 3 Communguses to make Vortex as well would have been better than Midbreaker. And then for any trap decks, another complete blowout card. Any Outer Guys, Paleo, just you activate this and you win. It's just a complete win button once again, like against any of these decks. And for any of the combo decks, I only sided 5 hand trap. I didn't think combo decks would be popular, but these are like the blowout hand traps. Gamma, like any combo deck, Gamma's just MVP. Like, if you draw this, you win, and even if I don't hand trap, even if you draw it late, like as a 6th card, you can try to like bait the thingy, and obviously you play a mega, so it's just a free summon if you can bait a hand trap or bait a monster effect, and then yeah, it's not that dead. And this Ash Blossom was also for hand trap, but I also thought Draco would have a representative. I was initially thinking Drone Lockbird, but I thought this would just be better overall, just for the Draco matchup, and just overall safety, more safer, and like just turn off. Most combo decks right now are weaker than they used to be, so even just one hand trap is almost enough to stop them a lot of times, and then you can just go full combo and yeah, finish them.
Great stuff. Okay, Zeki, thank you very much. Any shout outs before we head off?
So shout out to Alex Moffat and Marcus Patel. They did help me with the Pendulum list. They're big inspiration of the Pendulum list, and yeah, great friends. But biggest shout out to TierZero Games. It's a great team. Check out the website. Best deals you can get. And yeah, thank you.
Thank you very much. TierZero signing out.